What is up, everybody? I am mental wellness and emotional eating specialist Anthony DeAndrea, and this is my YouTube channel. Today, we are going to be talking about the dramatic relationship between nutrition and mental health, so stay tuned. So before we begin, I feel like it's very important to iterate that mental health is very complicated. There are many components that play a role in your mental health, and nutrition is one of the main ones. I'm not saying when you focus on nutrition that it's going to completely heal whatever situation you're going through. However, it will dramatically improve it, and I'm about to tell you why. First, we're going to start by talking about gut health. And if you have been tuned into me for a little bit now, I am very, very serious about gut health because it directly affects your mental health. I always use an analogy about a ladder. Now, the first step of the ladder is your digestive health. Your body, no matter what your goal is, no matter what you're going through, your body cannot operate efficiently at all if your digestive system is not working properly. That's why nutrition is so important to your overall health and wellness. Now, in direct relationship to mental health, I would like to talk about three main points in regard to gut health. Now, first, I want to talk about the gut-brain axis, which again, I talk about very often. Your gut-brain axis, there's this nerve, and it's called the vagus nerve, that goes from your brain to your gut. And that's how your brain and gut communicate with each other. It's a bi-directional communication network, which just means the brain can talk to the brain can talk to the gut, and the gut can talk to the brain. Majority of that communication goes from your gut to your brain because your gut has plays such a vital role. Now, when our gut microbiome or our gut bacteria is off, it influences that communication network between the gut and the brain. That's why things like processed foods with additives and preservatives, or like antibiotics, severe antibiotic use, an unhealthy or imbalanced gut, all of these things play a role. That's why I've personally focused on a whole foods diet. Whole foods meaning fruits, veggies, meats, eggs. I personally don't eat dairy, but that's another conversation. But I just want to iterate the fact of how important it is to have a healthy gut microbiome so that communication can work effectively and efficiently. Next, I want to talk about neurotransmitter production. So when we think about neurotransmitters, or the chemical messengers in our brain, obviously we think about the neurotransmitters being produced in the brain, but this is not always the case. When it comes to neurotransmitters that directly impact our mood and our mental health level, dopamine, serotonin, GABA, a large majority of these neurotransmitters are produced in our gut. Believe it or not, 90% of serotonin is produced in our gut, and serotonin has a direct impact on our mood. So again, now we're going back to that gut bacteria. When the gut bacteria is off, which by the way, the gut bacteria are where the neurotransmitters are produced. When that gut bacteria is off, what do you think happens? Your neurotransmitter production is off. That communication network between the gut and the brain is off. And it caused just a huge disruption throughout the body, and specifically throughout the brain. And to me, I always say this too, I think it's pretty funny. The brain is the most important organ, but then think about who's telling me that. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, gut health directly impacts our brain. Now I want to get into nerves and the nervous system, still related to the gut. In our gut, there's a system called the enteric nervous system. Hence why the gut and the enteric nervous system are known as the second brain. The enteric nervous system is like two thin layers of nerve cells, over 100 million nerve cells that line our intestines. So now we're going to revert back to the microbiome. When that is off, when that enteric nervous system is damaged, what do you think happens? Now, to give you a little bit of a background, the enteric nervous system is actually a part of the autonomic nervous system, which manages, heart rate, blood pressure, everything that we aren't consciously controlling. So when the enteric nervous system is off, that's why it spreads throughout the body. It causes inflammation, which impacts brain health and impacts mental health disorders like depression, anxiety, and things along those lines. So that is why promoting healthy gut bacteria is a huge proponent of mental health. Now, just getting in a wide variety of whole fruits, whole vegetables, meats, eggs, even smart supplementation, which I will get to in a little bit, is vital to mental health. Next, I want to hit on protein intake. Protein intake. Now, if you were like me, I had this belief, this false belief that protein isn't too important. I just was like, oh, protein builds muscle. Leave it at that. But that's not the case. Protein is a structural component of almost every single cell, if not every single cell in our body. From our hair, skin, and nails, to our heart, to our muscles, to our organs, to our gut, and specifically to our hormones and neurotransmitters. Neurotransmitters are built from amino acids, which are the building blocks of protein. So when you're not getting in enough protein or eating low quality protein like from McDonald's or ultra processed meats and things along those lines, the neurotransmitters are going to be low quality or non-existent if you're not getting enough protein. Now, obviously, it's not going to be like tomorrow you're going to wake up and, oh my God, there's no more neurotransmitters. It takes time, but that's why I want to address the situation, because over eating bad quality protein or not getting enough protein over weeks, months, years, decades, like that's when the problems occur. And for me, I was definitely under eating protein for a good while of my life. The good rule of thumb that I follow is I try to hit the amount of grams in protein as my ideal body weight. So I'm trying to be 160 pounds, so I'm going to be eating 160 grams of protein, high quality protein, to make sure I'm building muscle, to make sure that I'm building the neurotransmitters in my mind so my mind can operate as efficiently as possible. Lastly, I want to talk about omega-3 fatty acids, specifically EPA and DHA. Now, I spend a lot of my time going through research articles and things along those lines to enhance my education. And I recently, yesterday, came across an article published by Harvard, and they talked about how EPA and DHA specifically impact mental health. Now, what they found, which I will link the study below if you would like to look at it yourself, but what they found was a decrease in EPA and DHA in our diet resulted in a smaller brain size and an increased risk of psychiatry disorders like bipolar, anxiety, depression, schizophrenia, all these types of terrible, terrible diseases that really affect our wellness and our well-being. So it's very important to get in EPA and DHA specifically from the omega-3 group. So where do we get that from? What is it? The only source in our food of EPA and DHA is fatty fish. Salmon, tuna, mackerel, sardines. These fatty fish have high amounts of EPA and DHA, specifically wild-caught fatty fish. What happens is when these fish are farmed over and over again, they're not eating their typical diet. They're eating grains and veggies, so they're not having a high amount of EPA and DHA. When the fish is in the wild, like it's supposed to be, it is eating, like salmon's eating other fish. It's eating algae. It's eating what it naturally does to increase that EPA and DHA content. Now, if you are a vegan or you don't want to eat fish or take a high quality omega-3 supplement, which I can link below for you, you can take a krill supplement, krill oil, which are microscopic shrimp, so I don't know where your standards are, but also you could look into algae and algae oil. There's not too much research on it, but the research that has been done so far on the algae oil has shown some promising effects. With that being said, the goal is to hit 3 to 5 servings of, say, salmon a week. 3 to 5 servings. Now, I personally don't hit that. I eat probably 4 to 5 servings every 2 weeks, so I fall a little bit short. That's why I supplement. However, just the omega-3 fatty acid content, either way, no matter where you're getting it from, it is important that you're getting a high quality dose of EPA and DHA, an efficacious dose, which means that you can see the health benefits. Again, whether that's through salmon, whole food, which should be the priority, and if not, turn to supplementation, which again, I will link below if you are interested. All right, guys, that's all I have for you today. So I just want to recap real quick, and I want to talk about gut health, which dramatically affects our mental health because of the gut-brain axis, or the communication network between the gut and the brain, neurotransmitter production in the gut, and the enteric nervous system that lines the gut. Another factor is high quality protein, getting in enough, and a high quality protein. And lastly, getting high quality omega-3 fatty acids, specifically EPA and DHA. If you benefited from this video in any way, shape, or form, I would very much appreciate it if you could like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to my channel. I post every single Sunday. If I did provide you value, it means the world to me if you could share with a like-minded friend or family member that would be positively impacted from this video just like you were. My goal is to help as many people as possible become aware of natural and holistic ways that they can implement today to overcome mental health. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to talking to you guys soon. Have a great rest of your day.